Find out what's going on. Get involved. Change things from the inside. Make a difference. Take pride. Multicultural at its best. The Louisa Marshall Show. Coming up.
All new, simply the best. Get inspired. Born and raised in the Philippines, Ana Patrizio is a multi-award-winning Filipino-Canadian entrepreneur who is proud of her Filipino heritage. Known for her leadership in her community pharmacy team, Schaumburg Village Pharmacy, by successfully handling mass vaccinations and rapid testing during the pandemic crisis. In 2022, the Global FWN 100 recognizes Ana's remarkable work. She received the title Most Influential Filipino Woman in the World. Ana continues to serve her community of Schaumburg while officially launching a grassroots project in the Philippines called Ang Baye sa Agri, a woman in agriculture. As a farmer's daughter, she's inspired to mentor and offer social support to women in agriculture to expand the interest to make agriculture a main source of livelihood in the Philippines. On the show, my Simply the Best interview with Ana. Get ready to be inspired. All these coming up.
Why is this recognition so important for the visibility of women, for representation? I want your perspective on why it's that significant.
When I accidentally discovered FWN, I was shocked that this is the caliber out there that I didn't know. We are good, we are highly respectable in our fields. We have something to give in the community. And that is representation that mattered to me personally, that I've actually changed my perspective on my own identity. And then actually, you know what, we can do this, and we are equally good. And I'm now, very proud Filipina.
Hello. So glad to see you all. Proud to introduce a very inspirational Filipino-Canadian entrepreneur making a difference in her community, uplifting other women by engaging, sharing her story of success and perseverance. Today, Ana is honored to be one of Canada's most powerful women, Top 100 Awards, making a difference in their fields, shaping a more inclusive future in underrepresented areas. Hello, Ana. Welcome to Simply the Best. Welcome. How are you?
I'm very good. A little under the weather, but my spirits are always high.
Recently, you have garnered a very prestigious award from the Women's Executive Network as one of the most powerful women in Canada.
Yeah. I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how important is this award to you?
This award is important to me because it serves as a validation for the body of my work. It also it means that also my beliefs and my values that I align myself in is being recognized. Because sometimes it's almost like you don't want to be in an environment where it feels like an echo chamber. So it's nice to have a reputable organization outside your circle to recognize your work. And for me, that's it's really amazing because there's this year there's about 103 women who got the award out of 800 nominations. So it's like, wow, I was just totally blown away. So until now, I'm still trying to pinch myself and see, is this even real? So,
you didn't expect it at all?
No, I didn't. It's just one of those things that I'm not sure. So it was an unexpected, that's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your passion project.
Yes.
It's called Ang Baye sa Agri.
Yes.
What language is this?
This one
What
is
dialect?
It's a dialect. It's an Ilonggo dialect.
Ilonggo. Okay.
Yes.
Ang Baye sa Agri, a woman in agriculture. So
That's right.
what do you aim to achieve on this one?
So this one, I have this project. I thought about it last year. I started it earlier this year, so I went back to the Philippines to formally open the project. So essentially, what it really comes down to is creating a pipeline for future farmers. My parents own a fruit orchard in the Philippines, and while it's a successful business, I find that less and less younger generation are interested in farming. Maybe in the Philippines they don't find it as lucrative as it is in maybe other countries, right? But the reality is the population still needs to eat, and still needs to be fed. So therefore, for me, that's a problem of food insecurity. And I feel like maybe let's just start early and create interest, and let the younger folks see that there is money to be made in agriculture. So why we choose women in particular is in the area in Mindanao where my parents are. We lose the women in other industries, that they're forced to leave their house, their home, to be working in other industries. So this kind of just gives them a picture of what other options there is, that they don't have to leave home, and go to industries where they could potentially be abused, taken advantage of. And so this kind of just essentially matching younger folks or younger high school students to find mentors that are already business leaders in agriculture, women in particular. So what we're focusing right now are mushroom propagation, and so hopefully we'll find some results. It's a pilot. It's to really test a theory, if this is going to work. So hopefully it will work, because there's a lot of thought and work has it put in it. So hopefully it's something that will work out thereafter. When you ask students nowadays, it's like, oh, what do you think you see your future is? Or I want to be say an accountant, a teacher. You'll never hear somebody say, I want to be in agriculture. So if we don't have farmers, we don't have food. In the Philippines, agriculture is part of the curriculum. What I've done is work with them on identifying areas, which is we identified chicken raising and mushroom propagation, and partner that with mentors and business people that are already in those areas, and have them as a resource person to say, okay, this is Mrs. So-and-so is already a mushroom farmer, and she makes this kind of money. This is how much she makes. And at the same time, she can share what she have gone through, and essentially mentor, be saying, what, if we do it's almost like a shortcut to something, because they can already pass on to you the knowledge and the failures actually, and what worked for them. So it really is just, sometimes you don't know what's possible until you see it. So having a mentor visibly successful in a business makes you think twice and said, maybe this is something that's for me too. So that process takes longer. So for me, I feel like we have to start younger. So in order to plant that seed to the minds of younger generation, to see this as a possibility for themselves as well.
Anna, you
Yes.
are paving the way to success for most of our kababayans. Why do you think that more Filipinas have to step out of the box and finally make their dream come true, just like what you did for yourself?
Yeah, I think for me, it's really Filipinos are starting to really realize their value. And for me, that really makes me very happy, because quite honestly, sometimes you really need to find that first in you, in order to see what your potential is. So for me, like, I'm such an introvert. I know a lot of people don't believe me, but I am. But I feel like there is a value for me being visible. Being visible Filipina, me a visible pharmacist, a community leader, because I find that a lot of people are also visual learners, when they see something that makes sense to them. So me being visible out there and knowing that a Filipina can do it, I'm enabling another woman and another Filipina to see the potential in them. So I feel like even though I'm really in a shy, more of a shy person, I find that there is a responsibility for me to be visible, and to share my story, and at the same time to share my leadership journey. And really, like what I mentioned earlier, like failure is necessary, and we have to be honest in those conversations as well, because that's the only real means of us growing.
Failures.
Yes.
Oh, failures help us all grow.
That's right. Yeah, it does.
So what can you say to somebody who's so scared of failing?
For failure, well, of course, it really depends. We have to have calculated risks, I say, especially if we're dealing with, say, business and money and things like that. So failure is necessary, but of course nobody wants to do that. But I think we can't have fear really ruin a possible good decision. So I think there has to be a thought to it. We have to really limit our self-limiting beliefs that, oh, I can't do this because of this. Let's test the theory. Can I really not do it? Why can't I do it? Or why could I not go ahead and do it? So I think having failed myself, it was necessary for me. I needed to fail in order to see that, hitting the rock bottom sometimes really wakes you up, and say that, you know what, you really need to make changes in your life. And sometimes that really is the wake-up call people need. And we don't have to be afraid of failure, unless the failure is up to you if you want that to define you. And at the end of it, everybody fails. That's a reality. But don't let it define you. Make the change that you do for yourself in order for that failure not to define you as a successful person that you can be.
Do you share that failure to everyone?
Yes. Oh, of course. I find that sharing failure is necessary for me to speak as a leader, because I don't want to have wrong impression that, this has been an easy journey for me, which it isn't. So that's why failure for me is an important conversation. Having been laid off from a job, for a corporate job, that's a failure. Having failed in, my exams when I was in school. I did fail some of my subjects in pharmacy school. I wasn't the smartest kid in the class. So things like that are important, because I think, especially if you're younger and have less life experience, you think that this is my future. If I failed my exams, that's it for me. Then, at least you as a person provide that perspective that, no, actually, look at me 20 years from then, or this person's age. There is that life experience still, or a lifespan that's out there that still needs to be lived. So don't let that failure define you.
More Ana inspiration coming up. Don't go away.
To be validated na my contributions to my small community is something that the FWN also recognizes, and that it's nice to be recognized, quite honestly, and then I feel very elated. Kinikilig nga ako.
Ana, if you have an opportunity to help the community other than what you have already done right now,
yeah,
and you're inspiring everybody, you're inspiring me, so what would it be?
Really, if I have a superpower, if I think about it, I will have a power in politics. I want to make sure that there is a women empowerment class, mandatory, in high school, because I think sometimes there are different setups in homes. Not everybody is as lucky as me. I was raised in a very empowered environment. My mom is a very empowered woman. My dad is such a great ally and such a great guide. So I'm lucky that way. But we have to realize that not all households are like that. So if we have them in class as a mandatory class, that will be the superpower. If I become like a president or a prime minister, that probably is my first project.
I'm with you.
Yes.
Out man. Out man. Maybe you can go to Ottawa and sort of, suggest that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea,
It's not. It's actually a good idea. It's a women empowerment, which is really good, but I don't think they will like it that much, men. But anyway, Filipino Canadians are thriving in different fields, a lot of them. And I'm very, very proud of quite a few of them. Different fields, different directions. And what is your most important advice to the newcomers?
For me, my advice will be to never lose sight on creating higher goals for yourself. Because I think what happens is, for the majority of Filipino families that are immigrating, is that they think that having their feet in the Canadian ground, that this is it. But what Canada is really is a gold mine of opportunity. And we have to realize that almost have to let go of the thought of pwede na yan. I think a lot, and I see this so often, especially for if say a couple had immigrated in Canada, a little bit older, and they went to Canada for the kids. And I get that sentiment, but there's also a possibility for you. And so I think we become very complacent about, okay, we're already in Canada, so this is the goal. For me, my advice is to never lose the sight of creating higher goals for yourself, because this is a land of opportunity, and let's just not waste it. Let's see what else you can do with the blessing of being in such a great country. Being in a great country, what else is possible for you? I was raised in a household like my mom and dad, because they valued themselves as people as well, and so therefore us as kids, we've seen that even though they work so hard, they valued their community service besides just working. I probably got it from my mom for having a very strong sense of community service, because I've seen her. She will drag me on Rotary clubs for dental mission, medical mission. So as a child, I see that growing up, and for me, she did not only do it. She did not only work hard, but I saw her commitment to the community as well. And I've just, as an adult, just realized that, oh, maybe I really got it from my mom, because I've seen it. So if parents realize that they really have a lot of influence, and if they start with themselves, chances are they will translate that to their kids without even them knowing. And so as my dad is really even though Filipino as a culture is a little bit more patriarchal, but I don't see that in my dad, because he's such a good guide, and he's always saying that you can do whatever you want if you work very hard. And so I grew up with that sense of mindset, that if I do work hard, focus on my goals, then I can be whatever I want it to be. So I think if parents will see that, they'll be able to translate that to their kids as well.
You have your own story. I have my own story to tell. So what makes you, Anna, different from other Filipinos?
I think that might be my actual strength, is that I don't tend to compare myself to another woman or another person. What I do, that focusing on my own goals, focusing on constantly evaluating, doing self-inventory, constantly doing that allows me to not be clouded in my judgment and seeing what other people are doing. So therefore, it makes me focused on my goals are and work on that. So I think if there is a difference, is that because I don't compare myself. I compete with myself is what I do. I set the goals and I try to be better on my own goals. Of course, my goals also include other people in terms of my community service and my community leadership. But I don't, if that's what there was a term that they use, keeping up with the Joneses. So I don't do that. So it allows me to be really not be clouded in my judgment. That may be a decision I do on my life or in my business. So it allows me to really focus on the facts and base my decision on a really informed decision. Can be personal, it can be business. So it's more because it fits me, as opposed to it fits a mold. It might mean that sometimes I can be an outsider, and I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with that, because for me that decision is made solely because it was an informed decision.
So Anna, with all this wonderful opportunities that you're getting left and right, and all the projects or all the passion projects that you're probably having in your brain right now.
Yes.
Right? So do you have any desire to join politics? And
my God.
yes, and why? If it's
I
just
have
a
any
yes.
desire.
You don't?
That's a good question. I've never thought of it. But not to say that I don't see myself as a public servant. But I feel like I can do more in non-government organizations, I feel like, because politics needs loyalty. And for me, my loyalty is to the people. So I don't feel like being in politics might ruin that in terms of where my loyalty sits. I don't want that kind of. It's more than becomes an ethical issue for me, because that in non-government organizations I will do it because it is the right way, or that because this is the best way, or this is because it's right. So I don't, not to say that politicians are not doing the right thing, but I feel like I'll probably be better in leadership positions that will probably not require me of that kind of loyalty, but really the loyalty for the mission, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
With all these things happening around you and you being a trailblazer, yes. I must say. Mm-hmm. And you're a Filipino.
Yes.
Filipina. Yes. I am very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
So what is the best part of being a Filipina?
Oh my God, we have whole year 10. I can't beat that. I have such an appreciation in our color. As soon as when I moved here, I said, oh my God, everybody in the Philippines try to whiten their skin, but it's like, this is gold. Morena is gold.
Look, I'm using it right now.
It is gold. This is a shame that we're not celebrating this color. It's beautiful. But I think for me, what really I feel like being a Filipina, we're natural born leaders. And I think we really need to start recognizing that. I think culturally we do, because there's a phrase in the Philippines called under the saya, where men are described being, behind women's skirts. But that undermines the reality that women can lead their family units. This is them showing leadership. So I think we are not harnessing that potential, that we can not only lead our units, family units, we can lead our workplaces, our communities, our schools, even our government. So I think culturally we recognize that, but we're not preaching it enough, recognizing it enough, and that's a shame because we are very much natural born leaders, and we're fully capable of that. So I think this is what I like being a Filipina, is that, you know what, we are leaders, and we should really start calling ourselves leaders. So this is, I think, for me, a really good time to speak about leadership, because for me that is a strength that I really wanted to share, because I find that because I am a proud Filipino, and I stood up for me being myself, and I'm recognized in that, and I honor the people that really had fought hard for me to be celebrated as I am, because I know there are time in a period where being different is problematic, but this is a great time to harness and be loud about being Filipina, because you know what, we're kicking ass there. So we should be celebrating our Filipinaness, if that make any sense.
It does. Be
Yeah.
loudly proud.
Loud and proud, yeah.
That's right. That's right. Oh my goodness. Oh, we can talk forever, Anna. Thank you so much for gracing our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations. And please update us on what's happening to your passion
Yes.
project in the Philippines. Anna, you're amazing.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you so much. You. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. Please don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Always be kind. Let's stop bullies. Stay safe, everyone. See you next week for more inspiration. Bye-bye.